What's up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new episode here in All the Mods 10 to the Skies. And in today's episode, we are going to be building our first ever base, as well as upgrading our ME system. So, getting into today's episode, we're going to get straight into it. And this episode, we're going to get ourselves a base. We've been rocking this little, I don't even know what it's called, like trailer. And our underground base for quite a while, and our underground base, well, it's getting quite full up. We've even like had some expanding inside to fit the theme and just make it look more natural, just to give us that extra bit of space, but it's not going to cut it. Now we have a schematic, and this was built in a vanilla world, so we haven't got all the blocks we can in here, so we'll probably just spruce it up once it gets that far. But it's gonna require a lot of blocks. So, first thing we need is a cannon. Because this cannon is called the schematic cannon. And what this is going to do, it is going to print us the schematic that we put into this. Now, our schematic is quite big, so it's gonna take some time. So what I need is some stone. Do I have any stone? I do. Let's take some stone and let's smelt this for some smooth stone. And whilst that is smelting, we can craft ourselves the dispenser, which we actually need a bow for. It's very interesting. Or we can do this recipe right here, which will probably just be a ton quicker. No, it will not. This recipe. There we go. Dispenser. Let's go in here. That's our smooth stone. Boom. And the schematic cannon, just like that. Now, for the schematic cannon to work, we need it to pair with some other stuff. So we're going to need the table. Now, I don't know what the exact name is, but we'll see it right here. The schematic table. So again, I think we're going to need some more smooth stone. Yes, we are. So let me just throw you in there. And then we'll just take that stone and throw it in the other one. So just like that, getting ourselves some stone. Let's make sure we get ourselves this table. Boom. So that is the table, that is the cannon. Now we're going to need a clipboard. So the clipboard allows us to get our list of materials that we'll be needing. So let's craft ourselves a clipboard, and I believe that is... Actually, no, we're missing one more thing. We need an empty schematic blueprint or something. Empty schematic right here. So we need some paper. Boom, just like that. We also need ourselves some light blue dye, which we can also make. Or, if we want to make it a different way, we can use that dye essence, which we got in the last one. In the last episode, which is pretty cool. So now that we got that, empty schem right there. So what we want to do is we're going to place down our schematic table. Let's go in here, throw in our empty schematic. We want the updated version because we made some tweaks. And if you click tick, maximum large schematic file is 256. Okay, so we're going to quickly change that in our server settings, and then we're going to get this schematic up and loaded. Okay, we're back, and again, let's change this to the updated one. Empty schematic, click the tick. It should now work. We are uploading our file, so this arrow right here will start filling with like a progress bar. And because our file is, I think it's 5.5 thousand, so it is quite a big file. So it's going to take quite a while, which is unfortunate. But once this is done, all we got to do is place down this cannon, put in the blueprint, put in the clipboard, and the clipboard is going to give us a list of materials. Now, those materials, yes, will all get thrown into the build. So we're going to need to get ourselves quite a lot of materials. So, on my own little clipboard, which I do not have one, by the way, I'm just going by the top of my head. I know there's a lot of bricks in this build. Now, bricks, I don't know how to get these. So we could honestly, our best bet is just to get a lot of bricks, which we get a lot of clay. And to get clay, we could use water essence and dirt essence. So that's something we're going to do, because that's going to make this a lot quicker. Another one is andesite. How can we efficiently get andesite apart from right clicking on the ground? So let's look at all our alternatives. We can use a block generator. So we're gonna get this andesite up and running. We're gonna get the bricks up and running. Again, it's stuff you guys have all seen me do before. So we're just gonna go ahead and get on straight with it. So let's place our seed there with our inferium. And then we've got all the agglometrics. So we've got the fire, the water, the earth, and the air. So we're going to place these in every corner. And then we can use our wand. And we make ourselves an air seed. So I thought I'd just show you guys this process. Because honestly, it's quite a cool feature. And I just love this mod. Like, that was scary. I don't know if you guys heard that. You probably did. But there's fireworks going on in the background. And I don't know why. Because we're midway through... Well, coming to the end of October. So next we have water. So let's just do the exact same. Now it don't matter where we place these, I don't think. I think we could just place all on one side and all on the other side. I don't think it really matters. And just like that, that is our water. Lastly, our fire seed. Boom. Let's get this fire seed up and growing. Let's claim this, and now we can actually go and plant our seeds. So I think we're just going to do this front row. So let's make sure we get rid of the inferium seed. So we're going to do earth, fire, water, and air. So now these should grow. This should get pumped into here. And just like that, we have earth, fire, air, and water. So that's going to be our source of clay, which will get us all the bricks we will end up needing. Fingers crossed. And there's my speaking. So that is one step of the progress. I just thought I'd show you the seed way again. We are going to make a few more of these for our andesite. And I believe we need some granite as well. With some grass and some moss. They're the main blocks. Moss we've had gone for a while. Which is filling quite up. I don't know if it's going to be enough though. But we're about to find out. So, I'll see you all in the next clip. Where hopefully we have the materials necessary. Or at least the way to get the materials. Okay guys, so about an hour or two later, we've managed to get all the resources that we need. The bricks. No, so we actually are still crafting the bricks, which have been going on for quite a while now. So now we have every single resource in this chest. So material checklist, we can check off that brick, and just like that, we should have everything. So now, all we gotta do is go to our schematic cannon, which the chest has to be right next to it in order for it to work. We need to filter it with some gunpowder. So the gunpowder is what's going to fuel it. And now that it's ready, we should just be able to click start. And any second, replace solid with any, replace solid with empty, replace solid with solid, don't replace solid blocks. Oh, there we go. We're shooting. And it's shooting so far away that I can barely even see it. So we're starting over at this side. It looks like it's starting with the terracotta. So we tried to make these spikes within this build. Just to like carry on some of the theme from this island. And we're probably going to make this into like a little campground. Make it look more like we've just set up camp. So it should be taking the blocks out of here. Yeah, you can see the count is going down in the side terracotta. which is beautiful. Now the question is the gunpowder. So with backup, we can shoot 25,000, but that's basically just our terracotta alone. In here, we've probably got like double that. So we need to find a way to actually filter some more gunpowder in. I'm thinking maybe a hopper should work. So if I place a hopper just on top, place in some gunpowder, it does not work, sadly. So we might just have to keep filling it by hand, which is gonna be a shame if we miss it. But it is making some progress. So we're gonna cut back to when this thing is fully done, and you guys will finally see what our new island looks like. And the build is finally finished. Hours later, I would not recommend using big builds in this. We should have split it into a few tiny builds and used multiple cannons. It would have been a lot quicker. But the final outcome, we have ourselves an industrial site. So, ow. If we come in here, we've made our little entrance. We've got like a little transition coming into the stone and andesite. And we carried on these spike pillars and the lanterns just to give it that aesthetic to match up there. We have 2 of these big factories. So from here, we got a lot of space to work with. We've got all at the back. Probably add a second layer. Probably get 2 layers here. And that's going to be the same for that one over there. Then these ones are the small ones. So basically what we've done, we've just taken the front bit of this and printed like 3 together and 2 together. So like a little bunker type ones. So this is just small, maybe just for like one mod that we explore into, a little factory sort of going. Again, we can get 2, maybe even 3 floors in this place. And that goes for all of them. Now the only problem we do have is if we come all the way down here and we try to access our ME system, our link network can't be found. So we're actually out of the range. And what I'm thinking is we gotta move our ME system, and we can rather go for this middle bunker or this left one, because I still want to be able to access it from our current island. So if I just like head up here, we can actually see, because we have 32 range increases, which is the most you can have. And yes, 32, the range is 197 meters, so like 197 blocks. So if we look at our coordinates quickly, we're at 4127. Still access it here. Still access it here. And now we can no longer access it. So about up to this building right here, we can't access it. So this end building should be good for it. And whilst we actually move it all, it gives us the opportunity to upgrade our ME systems. So we can fully revamp it, we can fully upgrade it, and make everything a lot better. Now the only thing that is really stopping us is we can't just like grab it all and transfer it over. It'll take too much, and if we need blocks from our ME system, we won't be able to access it because it won't be up and running. So ME controllers will be the first thing. Now if we right click it, it actually tells us how many we've got. So we've got 68 ME controllers. So this should be moderately cheap. ME controllers, if I can find them. Yeah, right here. All we need is some engineer processing, and we can just craft a bunch of them. There we go, we have our ME controllers. And now we have the source, the main thing. So what we can now do is we can go build these over here. And we can start just transferring everything over. Now, realistically, we could have just carried it all over, blah blah blah, but we had the resources. we need to use them, so we use them. The more, the merrier. So, we're just gonna build it into the floor here, and then we'll branch out from there. And this is the start to the full process. So now that we have the ME controllers in, if we actually just break below here, let's turn my magnet on quickly. You can see we got our energy cell for this to store the energy to power this full thing. We got our power plug down there somewhere, and we got AME drives. I believe at our base we have 5. So we're just gonna throw the discs that we got in there in this ME system, and ultimately all this should end up transferring over there. But before that, we want to upgrade these as well. This is a pattern provider and a molecular assembler. Now for us to upgrade them, we're gonna need to get into advanced ME. So we need ourselves the ME extended pattern provider. And as well as them, we need the extended molecular assemblers, which will be these. Now we're going to get 32 of each, but this is going to require us to get a crystal assembler, which we need a skystone tank, and we're now missing the skystone, typical. So now we're getting in that skystone. Let's get ourselves this tank again. Okay, so now all we're missing is, I believe we have the logic presses actually. All we're missing, no, we don't have the logic presses, but we need the extended machine frame, which we need entra infused. So if we go to our reaction chamber with some water, we need entra dust, gold ingots, and lapis. So for us to get this entra crystal, we need to crush entra crystals to get the entra dust. So for us to get this entra dust, what we need to do is, firstly, we need to grab ourselves some ender pearls. And then we got to crush these ender pearls to get ourselves some ender dust, because we need ourselves a bunch of entra seeds. So whilst they're crushing, I'm going to get myself a fluix block right there. Throw them down. Then with this ender dust, we can just throw it in here quickly. And if we type in entra seed, we can now make ourselves some seeds. So with this seed, I believe we just come up to this fluix block, right click it, and now we have a budding block. This needs to be 2 apart. And like that, these will keep them budding. However, we can speed up this process, which is what we're going to do, using our growth accelerators and the resonance crystals like we did over there. And just like that, we are now growing them a lot faster. So if we just hold this, you can bear in mind that, and look how much it's growing. Now it is forcing 3 sides to grow, so it's not the fastest of processes, but it's still good for the job. So now with this entra crystal, we can finally make ourselves some entra dust by throwing it into an inscriber, or we can crush it down, which will probably be our easiest option. Okay, so we've done enough to get ourselves some crystals. It was a very slow process. There will be another way we can do that if we end up needing it later down the line. Hopefully we don't. But we need 32 entra dust, and I believe we mix that with some gold and some lapis. So if we come over here into this reactant chamber and we throw it all in, there we go. We now have ourselves entra infused ingots, which we throw it in there. Crystal assembler. We can make ourselves one of them. And then all we need is logic presses. So let's just quickly craft ourselves up some of them. Boom. Crystal assembler. And now we can start making these extended molecular blocks and the pattern providers. So we're going to do this off camera, and then we're going to go back over to our factory. Okay guys, we're back, and it's cleanup time. So let's get all our full ME drives to start with. We can leave the empty ones in here and we'll come back for them later. Right now, we just want to grab all these ones that are full. Now, I believe those ones should be the only ones that are in here. And obviously our liquid one, which we're going to end up making another liquid over there, which is going to be fine. So now, what I can take are the inscribers and the pattern providers above, because I want them in our new place. Yeah, so let's take the inscribers, let's take the pattern providers, let's just turn that magnet on just so we don't lose anything. And then, oh no, my inventory's full. So what we're going to do, we're just going to throw the patterns in here for now. And then we'll come back to this. Another thing we want to do with this wireless connector, we want to throw it down somewhere. Now, we need to throw it down onto a wire, which so happens we've got one right here. So what this is going to do is it will allow us to click that. So now we bounded it to that wireless connector. So when we come all the way over here and connect it to this second one, the items will share through this channel, through this connector right here. So we did actually do the plus up as well, which looks beautiful. So within this wireless connector, we can just throw that down and we can click it. So now you can see it's online. So now we got this wireless connector that is online. All we have to do is connect it down to these pipes here. So let me just get rid of this dense energy cell for now. And just like that. So I believe if we put a storage bus on the other one, then it should be up and working. So this is online. They're binded now. And yeah, now we can just fill this with our items. And they're actually different sizes. We still got some 64Ks, which isn't ideal. But now, so my wireless is out of range. So I do need to link up back to this ME system. So we do have quite a bit of like back and forth going on. Okay, so if we do the bus on, no, where do we place the bus? Bus should be on everything pumping into here, which would go to the other one. So this should honestly actually be fine. So what we can do is we can get rid of these. Our molecular assemblers, pattern providers. The same ones on this side. And then, yeah, we'll carry these patterns and put them in the chest. So we're going to sort all this out because it's just, like I said, a lot of back and forth. Right, guys, this took, honestly, forever. This took so long to try to get up and running, and we managed to get it done in the end. So we did use these like future blocks. It's just a chiseled version of the ME like controllers, just because we moved it down a bit so we can get pipes. So we got these just for the aesthetic, just for the look. We got our terminals over here. We'll probably end up covering them up later. We got our inscribers up top. Got our crafting units, not the crafting units. We got our molecular assembles in each corner. Now these are extended, so we have 4 rows instead of your previous 1, which is really good. We have our towers of our crafting units, so now we should have 4 CPUs, which is going to help us quite a bit. We've also upgraded all of our molecular assemblers with these acceleration cards. So yeah, we're honestly doing pretty good. So now we should be able to craft things a lot faster. So for example, if I just wanted to go into, let's say I want some Omega upgrades, because yeah, Omega upgrades are pretty nice. So we just crafted that way. I don't know which ones they're getting crafted into, but just like that, it is done. Now maybe we want an engineering press. Oh, that's gonna get sent up there. We also have some acceleration cards up. Now this I didn't check, so I don't know if it does work properly, but I'm hoping it does. So we need each one to be auto exported, and that'll actually make it work. Okay, so now this should be auto exported. So now this should actually work pretty well. So let's say we want 10 of these. That's just a simple recipe. It should be just crafting away up in them. And yeah, it will notify us when they're done, just like that. Let's say I wanted some netherite barrels. Just because netherite barrels are the best type of barrels. Everyone wants netherite barrels. Now guys, comment down below, because something I am not sure about is if I go into my terminal, this is how I have it organized. Obviously, I got a bit of OCD. Kind of messes with me when things are, yeah, in order. So this is how I have it. Let me know if this is the efficient way, or if we did it just in this first column and going all the way down until we reach the bottom, and then again, because I don't know which is the most efficient way. So we have all this up and running, and if we go to our previous area where we had all these cables and towers and just everything, which it did look nice in there, but we've cleared up a bit of space now. So we've got all this space to work with for some extra bits or whatever. We still do need to link these up. This is deep slate, andesite, granite, and diorite. That's what I was using to produce the materials for my base. But yeah, all this is actually now linked up, which is pretty nice. Now the other things that isn't linked are these pattern providers, which when we request something, it will get sent to here, which is what we usually do. We get it sent to the crusher. Now crusher we can put up there. Smelter, we're gonna make another one. I'm gonna throw it up there just so we can have it all up in that room, and then there'll be final product. But yeah, I think this has come together very well, and let me know what you think of the builds, because I think the build, we went good. Now I am looking into a way of making doors here that are like functional, so it just lifts all the way up using the create mod, but I don't know if that'll be anytime soon, as it's I'm not too good on the create mod. It's a bit tedious. But yeah, this place has honestly come together pretty well, and I honestly like the outcome. But like I said, let me know your opinions, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. So don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe bell notifications turned on to get a pop-up notification for when that video releases. I'll see you all soon.